What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm going to talk about a list of how I cope with my life, and also how I cope with this human experience. Like I'm going to talk about like a list of reasons, or like a list of things on what I do personally on how to cope again, how to cope with this life and how to cope with this human experience. So let's get to it. So all throughout my life, I don't want to say all throughout my life, but most throughout my life, I feel like I've never been around people who I feel that strong connection with. There are people I am cool with. There are people that make me laugh. There are people that are funny as shit, and there are people I meet online where I feel very connected with. But I'm talking about the people in person. The people I, I meet online, I'm cool with them. But I'm talking about in person. In person, I never met like-minded people. I never met people who I feel that close connection with. So, and like not only that, but like me, I never received like romantic love, especially from like I've never received love in general from like a feminine figure. So like me and my mother, like we always had problems back and forth. We always had issues. We always had arguments. Where there are a lot of things where I feel like my mom have done me wrong, and vice versa. There are things where I feel like I made mistakes with my mother, but for the most part, I feel like my mother never really treated me the right way. And not only that, but I never been in a romantic connection like that with a female, and like all the females I've dated, like they're like cold hearted, or like how they'll break up with me. It was just so cold, like they were so cruel with it. Like they'll play a lot of mind games, or like very cold hearted, and like they'll give me no explanation on why we broke up, or like it's very cold towards me. So all my life I never like been around like there's a loving feminine energy, right? Even my family, like I don't hate my family or anything, but like me and my family, we usually don't get along. So like me, I currently blocked all my family members. I cut all contacts with them, and I got away from them. I live completely different state from them, and I'm happy that that's the case. So like me, I never really got along with any of my family members like that. I've never received like romantic love from a female like that. So all throughout my life, I've always wanted a romantic connection of like a genuine romantic connection where like the feelings are mutual, and like I'm able to express my love and my heart towards a female, and vice versa, that she's able to express that towards me. That's one of my biggest dreams come true, that hopefully I get to experience in this lifetime, that I look forward to, that gives me hope, that gives me faith in life as well. Love is such an inspiring and powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? There's like when you see people, usually when they're like romantic connections, they usually take off in life, or like they seem to excel a lot better, because this love is that romantic love. It can really skyrocket you in all areas of life, physically, mentally, spiritually, in my opinion. But what was this video topic? How I cope with that. And not only that, but there are instances where like I've been in career situations to where like I just don't feel satisfied, or like I just feel like I just want one out. I just want to get out of these jobs, these career situations that I've been in, and not only that, but like just the finances were like I've always dealt with financial restrictions. I mean, who has it? Everyone deals with financial restrictions. But me, like I currently don't have a car, so I can't usually meet different types of people. I can't, travel around from state to state, city to city like that. So I'm always stuck in a building, and I'm always limited to where I could like go and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that shit sucks. So money restrictions, and I'm always in a position where like I'm always fearing my finances, or like I'm always scared of my finances, that I might not make a certain amount of money, or like I'm broke, or like I'm overspending, or like I got to budget my spending. So I always had this fear when it comes to finance shit, right? And it really limits me to the point where I can't have a car. So now that I gotta wait so long, I can't even afford a car. It's like I gotta wait so long just to afford it, and then like what I'm saying, once I do have a car, I'm able to like meet different types of people, and like I said, travel around and shit. But also, so money restrictions and relationships were like I've always been around disrespectful people. I never been around the right types of women who would treat me right, such as family members or like romantic partners and shit like that. So I never had that feminine energy or love, right? That's my trauma right there. But that's not one that. those are my wounds pretty much. So I have a feminine wound pretty much. I feel like I've been around toxic masculinity too with my family. Like my family, like they just lacked a lot of like nurturing, a lot of family love, right? My family household was very violent, very cold and shit. Like we never got along like that. But so I've dealt with like relationship issues, financial issues, and there are also times in life where I just don't feel satisfied. I'm not depressed or anything. It's like I've worked in jobs, I've worked in situations where I don't feel satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm the type of person where I easily get bored and I need like stimulation. I need excessive excitement and shit, right? But more so, I think but I'm able to overcome. I'm able to overcome that. But one of my biggest issues is not being around the right types of people in my life, or for some reason, God or life. I feel like God or life, they'll purposely, it's clearly that they purposely put people that aren't good for me. Now, I feel like because the reason why I've experienced that is so maybe God wants me to get off my comfort zone, so like I could become great and help other people out, or by sharing my experiences and how to overcome these experiences with people, or so God could trigger my spiritual awakening or for my spiritual growth or for karmic depth or like karmic energies where I've done something in past life that dealt with karma or like this karmic debt I got to pay off. So many scenarios on why I think I've experienced horrible shit when it comes to relationships, right? Along with finances and other life situations, right? But those are the main things. Relationships with people and finances are the main things of my life that have been the biggest blockages and things that have the biggest issues with life. Not feeling connected with people, being restricted financially, and not feeling satisfied with the jobs I've been working on. Right. But more so, I'm dealing with people and finances are the biggest issues. Right. So now, how do I overcome this shit? How now the things I use to cope with it, and and how I'm able to use it to my advantage, to use it to my motivation. Obviously, there's inspiration. So like I look at the famous athletes. So like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, these two athletes motivate me. They inspire me the most because of their work ethic, how they're able to overcome obstacles. It's how their mindset is. I really admire them. I can't explain it. It's Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. I really admire them. They're like they're fucking leaders. They work extremely hard and like they have a strong belief system, and I really admire them. So I use these two as my life example for me to overcome situations and to better myself and to become a leader. But also, it's not just athletes; it's also like YouTubers as well that inspire me to help me become great. Like, you have Chauncey Wan, Inofe, how he's able to go through like very tough situations in life, but he's able to overcome them. Like his intelligence and his common sense, and like he's able to like detect like world corruption and like how this realm works, and like he's able to detect the things that goes on spiritually and around this world. And he's very free spirit. Like he has an open heart. Like he's very free spirit. Where like he's able to express himself. Where like he's able to live life on his own terms. Like he's very expressive. He's very like intense, and those are the types of people I admire. Like people who are very expressive, people who are not afraid to act like themselves, people who are like courageous and like they stand on what they believe in. So he inspires me as well. Also inspired me. A YouTuber is a New My Frame. New My Frame, like she's very like it's intelligent. Also, when it comes to spirituality, she's very like nurturing. She's very loving. She's very like kind and sweet, and she's very like knowledgeable when it comes to like life advices. She does tarot readings. She gives really good advices, but also on the things she had to overcome. Like she overcame like very tough situations involving like just with life, just with family, just relationships, just stuff like that. At times, even finances. So like me and her, like we kind of been through kind of like the same things. Like when it deals with like people with like relationship problems and like finances and shit like that. And she's able to, and obviously we're all humans, so like we're also actively trying to overcome these things. But the fact that she's able to overcome things like that, and she's still in the process of overcoming, just like we all are, because we're all human. Like and the fact that she's able to overcome like bad bad relationships, like finances, like where she's able, she became very successful when it comes to YouTube channel, and like she's able to like be in a very um loving uh relationship. It's just stuff like that, where I feel inspired. And other YouTubers as well. You have a lot of There's a lot of people. I have a lot of inspirations from people. To be honest, a lot of people inspire me from like YouTubers, famous athletes, even random people I see like I met in high school, I met in college, like people that are put in the same sports teams as me. I feel inspired and motivated by them. So what helps me cope and go through life is inspiration due to people that I look up to, the people I admire and shit like that, and how if they're able to overcome situations like that, why not me, right? Um, and a lot of other stuff too. Like there's a lot more other people, even like some family members as well that I feel inspired and motivated by it. But also, where's this topic going? Oh yeah, so how I cope and deal with life experience, but also just all the things I've learned throughout life from the YouTubers I subscribe to. Like I feel like I've studied a lot of spirituality, so I'm not saying I'm right, but I kind of have an idea of how this human experience, how this realm works. Like I feel like, but not only that, but just the fact that there's an afterlife, just the fact that the human experience is very like temporary, it's very short. So like the average human being, they pass away or like they die off or they die and leave this earth, the average age is like 70 to an 80. It's very rare they live up to 100, and that's considered rare. So just the fact that and some people pass away when they're like 50 or 60. So just the fact that the human experience is so temporary, and that there is afterlife. I personally believe there is afterlife. There's life after death, and there's been a lot of reports like that's why people see spirits. That's why people see ghosts. So it's just the fact that I have an idea, I have an understanding that there is afterlife, and that this human experience is very temporary. Those are all the things, but those are the main things. It's just the fact that I have an awareness of that. It gives me, it gives me it gives me an advantage to the point where like, no matter what life throws at me, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. Even when time is speeding up, even when that shit pisses me off so much, because like time speeding up is like it doesn't allow me to get all the shit I need to get done completed. And time speeding up is also not allowing me to enjoy things as I really want to, as much as I want to. And time speeding up is really getting in the fucking way of that. And that should really piss me off. But just the fact that life is short and there's afterlife, I feel like I could overcome it. And not just that, obviously that's nothing like harmful or anything, but like could be, but there's any situation in life where I feel like I could overcome it because of the people I'm inspired by, like my YouTubers, certain family members, certain friends, certain people I've come across with. Just all the people I feel inspired and motivated by, also like life itself, my knowledge of spirituality, it gives me an awareness and understanding that like no matter what life throws at me, I'm gonna overcome it and I'm gonna be okay. And like nothing can really break me. The only thing that can break me is death, pretty much natural death. Either I die unexpectedly, like if I get shot, or if I get drugged, or like if I naturally die off of old age. Those are the only things that can stop me. Other than that, ain't nothing can stop me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, a lot of life's not easy. Obviously, there are suffering, there are pain, there are a lot of shit we have to go through. I'm not saying it's easy, but just the fact that I have a knowledge that life is short, there's afterlife, and I have people in support that are around me and with me, and I have a faith in the higher powers. Some people may believe in spirit, some people may believe in God, some people believe in the universe, some people believe in their higher selves. Me, I personally believe there is a God. I believe there's a universe. I believe everything. I believe my own spirit. I feel like I believe in my higher self. I believe I, I have an open mind, so I believe in everything pretty much. So like those are the entities and beings that I have a lot of faith in. I believe in. So like whatever tough situation I'll go through, I'll go to them. I'll pray to God. I'll pray to the universe. I'll pray to my ancestors or like my spirit, or my higher self and stuff like that. And like I feel like no matter what life throws at me, I'll just go to them and I'll be okay. But not only that, but I also feel like at times where like the human experience is kind of unfair because like I said, I've learned these from other YouTuber. He mentioned that like we have a nervous system, we have pain receptors. The human body in itself feels pain. So that in itself shows that like the human flesh, the human body, it is susceptible to pain. Like it is very fragile in my opinion. Even as you get older, the human body becomes weaker and shit, and like you slowly kind of lose your intelligence or like your hearing, your eyesight. Like the human flesh slightly like goes down and malfunctions very slowly, right? Unfortunately, shit like this does happen. So like, and not only that, but there's other restrictions. Like we deal with like real corruption or like money control. Just a lot of restrictions like that, right? A lot of restrictions like that. Um, that's hard to like control because like how you supposed to live your life when like when you're dealing with money restrictions or like you're forced to do things you don't want to do, right? So even though there are life's obstacles that's hard to overcome, like the human body and like real corruption and shit like that. I also believe like sometimes spirit or God they'll put us in situations that are very challenging so we can get off our comfort zone. Like for example, I personally feel like the reason why God put me around like very like people who aren't as loving as I would like them to be, or like people who are very like just like, very not loving, very like toxic in a way that are harmful for me. In my opinion, I feel like one of the reasons why I have to experience that is so like I could like obviously overcome it, but so like I could learn a lot of wisdom. I could gain a lot of strength. I could learn how to become more independent. I could learn how to have faith and be more open to spirituality. You know what I'm saying? But and that's a good thing. But in a way, like I feel like this life is so hard. This realm is so hard because I feel like in order for you to grow, you have to go through pain or you have to go through a lot of obstacles. This is why when like the average human, or I mean not average, but like every human being, we all go through situations. It can be anything in life. It doesn't have to be what I have to go through. It could be anything in life. It could be something completely different. But we can all agree that like there are things and stuff where like we don't feel like doing, but we have to do it, or like we have to overcome it, or like things that we wish we didn't experience. But there are also things where like that helped us grow, that helped us learn a lot and shit like that. But there are things where like we just feel like it's just too hard to accomplish, it's too hard to overcome, or like the things we have to do, but we don't feel like doing, like situations or people and shit like that. I feel like this is what makes life so hard. But the things from now on the steps on how I'm able to cope with it, like for example, restrictions. So I feel like God or life or the human experience will naturally put you through a lot of restrictions for the things you really want to experience so you can grow, right? That's my opinion. Now, how do I cope with it? Um, for example, like I'm not satisfied with the most jobs I work in. I'm not satisfied with like the connections with people I'm in. When in person, online, I'm cool with that, but in person, no. I'm not satisfied with the connections I'm dealing with in person. I don't like the jobs I've been working in. I don't like time speeding up. I don't like how my body is slowly like malfunctioning as I'm getting older. I don't like the fact that I never experienced like romantic love or like this love overall from like a feminine energy. So I have a lot of mother wounds, a lot of like maternal wounds and shit like that. I guess you could say. So and it's continuously going on. So like obviously I gotta overcome that shit like through like spiritual healing and at work and shit like that. Like I already know like professional help and shit like that. So I already know. But how do I deal with it, or like how do I cope with these bullshit ass restrictions I gotta deal with? One is a YouTuber. He mentioned this too. Chauncey one, you know, he mentioned this too. Like um, sometimes when he mentioned like when you feel unsatisfied with life or like nothing in life really excites you like that, or like you gotta go through so much obstacles. The only thing you could focus on is bettering yourself and becoming great. And that's why when people come down here, they have a mission. One of the main purposes of the human experience is to complete your mission because this world is so hellish, this world is so evil, and we can all agree with that. We got money restrictions and we got like other shit I don't want to mention, but we can all agree like this world is pretty fucking evil, right? And it makes sense on why we're put here for what one of the sole purpose is to come down here to complete our mission for the to complete what we come down here to do, right? And for some people, or for everyone, we all have goals. We all have a mission. We all have a purpose on why we're here. We just got to learn how to fulfill that shit. And I think he mentioned that like sometimes if you're feeling unsatisfied with life, or like life just doesn't excite you, or like this realm just seems so fucking lame and trash, just so empty. The only thing you could do is focusing on becoming great, focusing on all the energies where like the things you're passionate about, the things you enjoy doing. Put all of your energy into that. Or like, let's say you just know deep down like your purpose is to work at a certain job or a certain career, right? Then put your full focus onto that. Put your full energy and greatness onto that, right? And that in itself is going to give you fulfillment. It's not easy because it takes work, it takes energy, it takes focus. Um, and I think he also mentioned that like when you're not when you're constantly in your comfort zone, when you're constantly not doing things you need to get done. I think he mentioned that like life or the matrix or this spirit is gonna place a very hard blockage within your life, or like they're gonna do something, or they're gonna orchestrate something to where like you're gonna experience some type of pain or some type of bullshit where like you're forced to focus on your mission. You are forced to focus on the things you need to get done. He mentioned something like that, and I agree with it too, because like I really agree with it, because there are times in my life where like I don't feel like doing a certain career goal or like certain goals. I have to. I know I have to do it, but there are times I don't feel like doing it, and there are times where life like kind of force me to do those things. And the things life will force me to do, like either life will force me to hit rock bottom or to maybe experience things I don't want to experience. That's why I have to focus on the goals, but more so like the reason why like I decided to put all my energy to become great, and obviously I got this from Johnson. I got this from he mentioned this on his previous videos too, and he sparked a light bulb within me. Like he actually gave me an epiphany. Because lately I've been kind of feeling for a while actually. I just kind of been like procrastinating with life. Or, like I just feel very angry, very upset, very low on energy, kind of depressive. Or like I just feel like doing anything. Like I'll be sleeping in my bed all day because like life doesn't excite me. But he mentioned that like I think he also mentioned that like life doesn't excite him as much. So like what he would do is like he put all his anger, all of his focus on the things to become great. And when he mentioned that, it sparked a light bulb within me because he's right. And that I find that like that helps me. So since with me like I'm I have a lot of anger towards this world because like I said, world corruption, time speeding up, the people I'm around with, shit like that, right? Or like just money restrictions where I can't buy certain things like a car at the moment. Since I have all these restrictions, I'm gonna use all my anger, all my aggression, all my sadness and pain towards my career, so I could be more focused on that. And so like I could and on that, but it's going to give me a good investment in return, such as finances, money, such as peace, happiness, and being the right types of people. And I can see happening. It's going to make me go far to places. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's trying to tell you. Like, I mean, that's what he's trying to mention. That like when you feel unsatisfied with life or something, or like you just feel like life is just not like it. Like you just don't feel satisfied with something, then you might as well put all of your focus. Well, yeah, you might as well put all of your focus on the things you have to do so you can become great. Like if it's at your career, if it's at your job, even if it's with your passions. Since life is not, since you don't feel satisfied with life, you might as well put all your passions and excitement and energy into the things you love doing, right? And I know what you're saying, and you're probably watching this thinking like, oh, but if you're talking about passions, if you're talking about your career, it technically doesn't make you satisfied and happy with life. Now, when I mentioned that, I know, in my opinion, I feel like just because you have passions, just because you work at a career or a job setting that you really enjoy, it doesn't mean like you'll be satisfied and happy with life. Because at the end of the day, it's just a passion, it's just a hobby, it's just a career. We're talking about life. You know what I'm saying? Like life deals with people, life deals with like just anything. You know what I'm saying? Passion is a career. I mean, passion is a career. It could revolve around your whole life, and and that's the point. So if you don't feel satisfied with life, if you put all your focus to your career and your passions, technically it's not going to change your life pretty much since it deals with everything. The more you focus you put into it, so it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. You know, I can explain it. I can like explain it in my mind. But I can't explain it like in my mouth. But that's what helps me cope with life. It's the fact that like one, I feel inspired by the people I look up to. Two, by my life experiences, to where like I've experienced accomplishments, I've experienced things where I overcame, I've experienced obstacles I had to overcome, and on myself, I am my own inspiration as well. And if you're watching this, it's always important to be your own inspiration. You have to become your own best friend. You have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. And I think we all know this. So obviously, me, I love myself a lot. I'm my biggest cheerleader, my biggest fan, and also how I view life from a spiritual perspective, where like the human life, it's a fact, is very short. I also believe there's an afterlife, and I believe there's different beings, there's different worlds in the afterlife. I also what else? Fuck, I forgot. There's more. Damn it, I forgot. I have more reasons on why like I'm able to cope with life, or like how I view life in a positive light. Um, I guess the connection to like God or the universe or towards the creator. You know what I'm saying? I can't really explain it, but I believe in God. I believe there's a universe. I believe there's a spirit. I believe in my higher self. I believe in all of that. And just the fact that I know they exist, just the fact that I know I have a strong belief in them, that gives me hope to go through life. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, but like even though there are some bullshit with life here and there, I also enjoy life as well. Like life is fun. Like I enjoy eating food. I enjoy working out. I enjoy like going to nature. I enjoy meeting different types of people. I enjoy like seeing animals, but and that too. But not only that, but like, but this it's just my childhood too. Like I feel like I had a good childhood. So like I've experienced great things as a child, and obviously growing up as my teen and adult years. Even though there are some bullshit I had to go through, there's also some fun experiences that I also went through, and that what keeps me going in life. You know what I'm saying? Just because like I talk about trauma and shit like that. Like I'm not saying I've experienced it my whole life. I've also experienced good things in my life as well. I have good memories and shit like that. But this channel is more so like my channel is more so talking about my pains and trauma. Like I use YouTube channel as kind of like a therapy session, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But where was I? Damn, I was about to say something. I forgot. Oh yeah, but just the idea, the fact that you can have whatever you want out of life, and any obstacle you experience, you can really overcome it through life. But just the fact that all that is possible and people have done it before, that gives me a lot of excitement when I deal with life or when I'm coping with life, when I'm trying to remain focused and positive and respectful and happy. It's the fact that any obstacle we're experiencing is only temporary, and no matter what the situation looks like, we can overcome it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so if you're watching this video, just don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you're not a. Just know that you're not alone. That you are meant for great things, and the fact that just fact, like I said, just the fact that you're still here, you still have a purpose. You're still meant for great things. Because if you don't, if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. But you are here, so you're meant for great things. The world needs you. I need you. Um, and don't ever get discouraged. Like, don't ever second guess yourself. Just know that like there is an afterlife. Any obstacles you experience, it is possible to overcome them. You can change your situation. And there are people who love you. There are people who look up to you, and like don't ever uh, give up on yourself because you've been through some things where like you were able to overcome, you were able to like go through and stuff like that. So if you're able to overcome these things, why not keep going? Why not like don't stop now? Keep going through life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're watching this, doesn't matter what age, you're still young, so like you still have a lot of life to experience. You still have a lot of life to explore. So like don't ever give up on life and just know that you're not alone and you're meant for great things. Have a good one. Peace.